3 weeks ago, emergency response agencies carried out an accident simulation. The fatal traffic accident happened at the busy intersection of Princess Margaret Drive and St. Joseph Street. One man died on the scene and at least 7 others were injured. It was a test to review the response capacity of the responders, and today, 3 weeks later, they're reviewing the entire exercise. One of the main things that stood out was the public's immediate reaction to the scene of the accident.
The citizenry on approaching any accident scene or incident scene, the first thing they go to is their phone, take a picture, and look for a posting on social media rather than really calling the number. Taking a picture and not calling the requisite important number you need to call to reach the relevant agencies. We hope that through this initiative here, and I saying it now, please call, it's 223-3293. That's Bert's number, or the 911 hotline, to get the right agencies to respond in a timely and efficient manner.
So to build on the response to that exercise, the fire, police, special constables, and local traffic department are learning how to manage the scene of an incident until Bert or other medical personnel arrives. And the first thing to know is basic first aid.
It has long been a dream of Bert to see not only the expansion of the ambulance service roll out countrywide, but to also see an expansion of the level of training that we provide, which is basic first aid and basic life support, up to advanced life support. And so it is important to bring in the key players today to be able to assist them in training them, but to also highlight what their roles are in society and especially in emergency management. It starts with basic first aid at the scene of any disaster management or road traffic accident. It starts with when you approach the scene, basically, how to be able to assess the patient, how to be able to determine the level of injury that you can see physically, and then how to decide basically if you need to move somebody in the case that there's a life support, further advanced life support that is needed.
The simulation helps to test the capacities of the response agencies so that they can make changes where needed.
Today gives us the opportunity to basically clarify what everybody's role is. One of the most important things at the scene of any emergency is scene safety. And that is why it's important that we work in coordination with the police department and the road traffic department to be able to ensure that the scene is safe. Because when you're in an emergency situation, tensions flare up, it's generally chaos. There will always be room for improvements, especially in an emergency situation that you can't forecast. They're all different. And so that gives us an indication more or less where we are and where we need to be. And after that, we did some follow-up training basically to improve our services.
This kind of training is not only useful to first responders like the police, but also to fire officials, regardless of the roles.
It is critical because whatever happens on a scene by the first responders is critical at times to determine whether or not the person or persons where they will live or die. And so I sat in there and I listened to some of the things that was being explained by the bird representative, and they're very critical things, like looking for signs of life and what can be done if there is no signs of life and these sort of things. And it is important that as police officers that we know these things, especially since we are always the first to respond to crime scene.
We don't get notified for response unless it is a need for education. However, the first aid treatment goes well beyond the emergency scene of a road traffic accident. You can have incidences at the workplace, on the home front, or the normalcy of life that extends beyond work. And you may never know when these skills comes into or will be called into need.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.